Welcome to Golden Age Now, a channel dedicated to best version selves and best version planet for best version galactic relations and beyond. Welcome to Golden Age Now. It is time to anchor the coming Golden Age upon Earth. Regardless of whatever dark agendas are swirling about, it is time to anchor the liberation of the Earth into the light. A favorite and powerfully impactful thought that I love to share with people from time to time comes from Einstein, who said that whether you think it is possible or it is impossible, you're right. Welcome to Golden Age Now. And the intro song, Moonshot We, Little Taste of Thee. From my rather cramped confines, vehicularly speaking. I've had enough of this life I've been living in. I need to release the past and rocket my moonshot with new energy, try propulsion. Moonshot me, moonshot vibrations, the best version that we can be for the Earth's elevation. Moonshot different cryptos, yeah, that's cool too. But the stress of the ups and downs of volatility was getting to me from that on out. More powerfully sent ways with capacity to contribute positively to be shifted days. My life I can save, and I can contribute to yours. Moonshot me, best version I can be, best version I can be, sets me free. Moonshot crypto, yeah, that's cool too. But Moonshot, who we are is even better. Moonshot We, it's available on MP3. The full version, some bass trombone getting into the mix, some kind of a jazz, fusion, something. Zwinifly Roo beats in there too. We took some time to create and to script best version communication. Let's carry on with that. In a few minutes, we're going to have a new segment I call Anne's Angels. Looking further ahead to the outro song for today, we have Blind, Deaf, or Deep Matrixy. We've all been deceived and programmed. There's no shame in acknowledging that we made true for ourselves lies presented to us from the systems we were born into. Everything is a matter of perspective, and there are exceptions to every rule, which also means then that some concepts have no exception. Though everything is a matter of perspective in terms of how we experience things and the meaning we create for them in the moment, there is also objective truths. My favorite examples, there is or there is not an afterlife. There is or there is not God. Regardless of our beliefs and how much we experience these things in our lives, or how much we believe that we're not experiencing these things, perhaps would be a more accurate way to put it. Objectively, there is or there is not a God. There is or there is not an afterlife, objectively speaking, regardless of belief. A quick note before we move on. In my estimation, it is the atheist that makes the biggest leaps of faith at all. First, that the Big Bang, suddenly something incredible from nothing. Everything in its potential to be such. All the laws of the known physical universe. They all came into being, something from nothing. Wow, that happened accidentally. And that something suddenly became animate. And it continued, thirdly, but continued to get more and more evolved. When entropy would indicate 444, angelic timing, entropy would indicate that things would tend to fall apart without upkeep. The atheist, to me, makes the biggest leaps of faith at all. A favorite New Age idea of mine I came across in my earliest adulthood, that we create our own reality. Let's consider this variously, including an example from when I lived in China. I spent 3 times living in China in this life. I was there for 2.5 years. 我会说普通话，你呢？欢迎光临，这是 Golden Age now. Which Kai also would be like, hey, come on in, this is Golden Age now, but why not? Let this be an establishment. I taught English to pay for my stay, and it deepened my cultural immersion while I was there as well. There was a class that I was doing. It was this one particular day that was, I had created the spoken curriculum, get people thinking, talking, enjoying as much as possible. It was a combination psychology, philosophy class, spoken English class. And we did an activity where I asked everybody around the room, there was about 20 people, 19 or 20 people. I asked everybody to write down what their definition of dog was. Very abstractly simple concept. And we were to wait until everybody had something written down, and then we went around the room and we shared it. It was quite fascinating. A few that come to mind for me have come to mind and continue to do so. I've thought about this many times over the years. I got a variety of every answer was different. I got things like a four-legged animal, chases cats, man's best friend, very loyal. This was China. Somebody said, makes good food or tastes good, something like that. Good to eat, perhaps, they said. And there was a lot of kind of nervous laughter. I was a little amused by it as well, quite honestly, though I've never, to my knowledge, eaten dog, nor would I want to. So, you ask 20 people what a dog is, you're going to get 20 different answers. But interestingly, if we're in a grocery store, let's say, and we say, look, there's a dog over there, everybody's going to know what everybody else is talking about. So there's both a subjectivity and an objectivity to our existence. My favorite word in the English language is both. There is both a subjectivity and an objectivity to our experience. Things happen. What is the meaning of these happenings? Is it a meaningful happening? Is it meaningless? All of these are internally created for ourselves. Yet, other points of reference are also creating meaning. Truly, humanity is the sum of its parts. Yet, unlike Voltron, that could combine different ships into one invincibly towering robotic defender of Earth. Unlike Voltron, humanity has yet to create its unity. Not by design of the light, but because the eons of manipulation of the dark have created conditions around us where we have yet to choose and to create this for ourselves, mostly because we haven't seen it as a possibility and everything has been done to divide and conquer. Most of Earth, I understand in terms of the spiritual war, which can also be seen similarly as an overlap, an integration, perhaps, can be perceived. That's a neat word. Might use that later somehow. Perhaps you will as well. Perceive. It can be perceived of the end of the old world and the beginning of the new. And indeed, these are passing through each other. They exist simultaneously as a co-creation, simultaneously. New worlders, old worlders. The new world requires a fight to establish this. The battle, as my inner guidance clarified for me earlier this year, it is a battle of wills. Each chooses their internal orientation around beliefs and knowledge. Personally, I'm a man of knowledge. I am unchallenged by those that would question my understanding. Always am I willing to engage in interaction on the topic, a discussion, rather than a debate. a sharing of perspectives. I do not shy away from such. I'm very firm, very, very grounded, and lovingly embracing of the knowledge that I have, that I carry. Likely developed in previous lives, though I've spent much time learning upon this planet. Indeed, I have spent years working on my dreams variously, in that my roots go deep into the earth, deep and wide is my understanding. And this supports the book that I'll mention again often, because it's powerful. It's of service to the earth. I'm a man of knowledge. Not to say that I know everything. I know that my ignorance infinitely exceeds what I know. But I do know some things. Do I know everything about the things that I'm aware of? No. But I do know some things. And I know that my ignorance infinitely exceeds that. Keeps my mind open. Perhaps my heart too. It is time for truth to arise in all realms. In that I'm a man of knowledge, and as a spiritual warrior perhaps, I care little for beliefs, for false ones abound on this planet. I do respect the sovereign right that we have to choose our internal orientation on a moment-to-moment basis around beliefs and knowledge. I respect the sovereignty of others in this regard, yet observe and question how little freedom of mind people actually have here. For our world has largely, almost entirely, been based upon lies. How can we have freedom to choose truth if we are surrounded by lies? Welcome to Golden Age now. Before going into the new segment, Anne's Angels, some brief notes on my book. In a world full of lies, there is great work to be done. Much to examine, explore, and build. More than half of my life, I've had years involved with learning about this hidden from mainstream consciousness greater reality. If you struggle to understand the state of the world, perhaps you are worried and want to help fix and heal the planet. Honestly, who doesn't want to help fix and heal the planet? And who isn't struggling to understand the state of the world? Who doesn't have worries? You, dear viewer, could be empowered and inspired by acquiring and learning with my book as you work your way through it. A book that goes into so many subject areas, dozens perhaps more. For so much has been hidden, there is so much to reveal. It is a book that goes into so many subject areas, from the epically deceptive media narratives and education streams, though miseducation is often a better term, and on the whole, it is a better term. More disempowering than empowering. Not to say that it doesn't have merits, but it lacks much. And some of what is included is not of benefit, and how it is presented. So, subject areas from the epically deceptive mainstream media narratives and education streams to hidden technologies for power generation and health, and various hidden abilities that we possess ourselves. Various hidden abilities, wow, that are coming to light. Perspective on living out of a car, which was my home for the entire 16 months I worked on the book. A good and various dose of paranormal occurrences, realities, perspective theory, understandings, and more. For these and more, head over to Amazon and search 5 words. What really happened? 2 worlds. The full title of the book is What Really Happened? A Tale of 2 Worlds and the Path to the Golden Age. Welcome to Golden Age Now. Whether you think it is possible or it is impossible, we are right. To a new segment of today. Anne's Angels. The future has both likelihoods and guarantees, for we have free will. My sense is any prediction of the future, any prophecy of the future, any divining of the future from whatever the source, it can be both a likelihood and a guarantee. For we have free will. Typically, the future is more so in terms of likelihoods, but some things can be guaranteed. For example, perhaps there is some inbound force. Yet, how we individually and collectively will respond to that force upon arrival and how we've prepared for it, indeed, these are variable. So our individual and collective experiences are variable as well. The force may be incoming, but what that will mean. There is a variability in that regard, for we have free will. The best preparation for these times is spiritual. Getting right within. Being as fit and strong as we can be on every level of body, mind, and spirit. Ann Tucker. In recent months, I came across her on YouTube. She channels angels. She channels angels. There is clearly a difference in how she speaks when she's channeling and when she doesn't. Demons and angels are quite real. Which side would be benefited by hiding the reality of these? The spiritual war is entering its climax, and we must win. Anne's Angels. Today we have Anne's 3. It's not the segment. The segment, we bring it up again. I bet we will. Anne's Angels. Today we got Anne's 3. We got the U.S., cash, and the solar flash. First, the U.S. Weeks ago, she indicated from an angelic perspective that following the election, there is going to be some violence. No surprise, but it is going to be short-lived. It will not be overly significant, and America will essentially divide itself into two. I call this the two-state solution. I'm not sure how formal that will be initially or later or ever, though I love the two-state solution. Rather than a civil war, we're going to see a dividing of America, according to Anne's Angels, and according to, doesn't that make sense? Doesn't that feel? It's just coming. Also, some weeks back, she had a message from angels that people should start storing some cash because there was going to be a bank shutdown. Not a bank collapse, but the banks would shut down for a while. And electronically, things would not work for purchase, and only cash would. So to store some cash. It would be short-lived, would come back online. I think to myself that not everybody could possibly be ready for that. This is not about fear. This is about preparation. If I could do it, I might $10 a day for a month, 21 days maybe. I'm really not sure how long that would be. Something to consider. The solar flash. And I got a chapter on this in my book. A chapter dedicated to the solar flash. She indicates that it's a force that could be from the sun, could be elsewhere. She theorizes the star Betelgeuse that went supernova. But this force that's coming, and that it will be like a white light that according to her angels, everybody's going to perceive it. Nobody will not notice it. And that we would look back and say that was the point when everything changed. Very similar to what many of us felt like December 21st, 2012 was going to be like. This massive, spiritually cosmic occurrence where everything changed. Rather than, as we now understand, the end of a cycle, the beginning of another, which is not necessarily a specific moment in time, but more of an overlapping period of time that we live in, a time of shift. Shift times, the change times, as I sometimes refer to them as. Yet the solar flash, according to Anne, a moment where all will experience this bright white light. She says that it's going to take everybody as though up to the top of a staircase to a doorway within that we choose to open or not. We choose to go through the doorway or not. That it is going to change everybody's abilities. But how far we go with these, how high we take them, is more of a matter of personal choice. But she said that some atheists afterwards might see, while they're walking about, might see angels among us that would be perceived as really tall beings, and the wings, apparently that's often component. This is coming in our times. The solar flash. A lot of people speak of the solar flash. Some are afraid of it, some not. Increasingly, the best preparations are spiritual ones. So, Anne's Angels, Anne's 3. Today, we have the U.S. Cash and the Solar Flash, which is the chapter of my book as well. One that I really felt strongly to write about. And when I sat down to write it, with my customary prayers of invocation, brief meditations, I invited different benevolent angels, the Most High. Sometimes I left it very open. Sometimes I was speaking to God. I might have said Our Father, often the Most High, that really resonates with me. Sometimes multiple angels, sometimes a single angel, always some kind of a benevolent prayer of invocation that I was availing myself as a messenger. And much came to me, much that I understood, hence was able to render it. The solar flash, I didn't know how to write that chapter. I felt strongly to write about it, but I didn't know how to do it. I sat down and it really wrote itself. And some of the connections, some of what arose, amazed me. It connected things that I knew about in a way. It was quite beautiful. It was amazing to sit down, to start it, not know how to write it, yet it was written. It's a great chapter. And is every chapter a great chapter? I would love for you to decide. Perhaps you would say yes. Or maybe some good, some great, some awesome, and no baddies. The solar flash. All will be well, she indicates. From another perspective, from, in my estimation, the world's most powerful intelligence gathering organization, the Farsight Institute, the coming few months, particularly the few months following the election, to about February, March of next year, are going to have multiple dramatic unfoldings occurring and escalating simultaneously. According to Farsight's epic sources, and it would get a little too colorfully off topic to get into their sources and their intelligence gathering techniques, but it's in the chapter of my book, the remote viewing chapter. According to their sources, these dramatic happenings are all manipulatively designed by the dark, yet their simultaneous occurrence has the timing, they indicate, has been orchestrated by the light, with the intent that humanity has the best chance to perceive, understand, and liberate ourselves from the reality that our planet, variously acknowledged to be a prison planet, a prison for the hearts, minds, and spirit of humanity, that all these things happen simultaneously, sufficiently that we see the manipulative deceptions and machinations of these dark forces, the corruption behind the planet, this prison planet, all so much at once that we see the corruption and we destroy the prison. Prison break, baby. Yeah. As Morpheus said, it is a prison for the mind. Each chooses their orientations around beliefs and knowledge. Yeah, looks familiar, sounds familiar. It is true. I don't know how we got back up to there. And 3, the U.S. cashed the solar flash. Where everything is a matter of perspective, we have Hans Angels seemingly indicating that everything will be fine, and the Farsight Institute revealing there are currently many battles yet to be won. My favorite word and concept in the English language is both. The perspective that the U.S. would separate fits in with both. The outro song for today is an uplifting and empowering one. Perhaps all of my songs are. It is a thought and spiritually revolutionary song. Perhaps all of my songs are. As fits the topics variously of today, and there were 2 other songs that would fit as well. No Falsify Rebirth fits. Liberate the Homeworld, it fits. The one we're going with today. This one's called Blind, Deaf, or Deep Matrixy. Are you blind, deaf, or deep matrixy? Perhaps you don't want to see. I'm not trying to tell you what to be, no. You're needed to help set the planet free. I know we have all been deceived. Not much time for reprieve, cause the adversary will not concede. The new world does grow with each human aware. Their minds they declare as aware of the truth. Ignoring no more the lies, see and hear, reach the shore, rise in power, rise in spirit. The world is ours for the making. Your world with its false strength can be dissipating. No time for waiting to fix this mess. You are needed. We are the ones. We have been chosen. Help to build and rise the golden age. Help to build and rise the golden age. Help to build and rise the golden age. Are you blind, deaf, or deep matrixy? Perhaps you don't want to see. I'm not trying to tell you what to be, though. You would need to help set the planet free. I know we have all been deceived. Not much time for reprieve, cause the adversary will not concede. The new world does grow with each human aware. Their minds they declare as aware of the truth. Ignoring no more the lies, see and hear, reach the shore, rise in power, rise in spirit. The world is ours for the making. Your with its false strength can be dissipated. No time for waiting to fix this mess. You were needed. We are the ones. We have been chosen. Help to build and rise the golden age. Welcome to golden age now. We have been chosen. We are the ones. It's a prison break. It's a new world we create. Ooh, it's so great. Best version lives. For a best version planet. Planet that supports and contributes to people being their best version selves. That we relate with the galaxy in a best version manner. The galaxy and beyond. Deeply within it as well. Spiritual preparation, the best kind.